Hey guys, so I haven't given you a homeschool update in a while, and that's because I really haven't had an update to give other than the video I made way back in December, when I showed you guys what our plans were for this school year and what we would be doing, and we were just doing that. We were just sticking to that. We did finish the Build Your Library Kindergarten curriculum year. We finished with all the activities and books in that year for that curriculum, and then we just kind of kept going with our core stuff and then just sort of reading books and doing whatever. And then I got sick, and then homeschool completely stopped for a couple months, maybe. I don't know. It was probably close to 2 months that it just kind of stopped completely. And now we're finally getting back into it. I had originally planned to take the summer off because I figured we would just follow a traditional school year. And summer, it's hard to focus on work anyways, because when I wake up in the morning and the day is this beautiful outside, I just want to go outside with the kids. I hate even focusing on mundane indoor tasks. I want to go to the pool. I want to go on hikes. I just want to read in the sun and watch the kids play. I just want to find things, useful things, if I can, to do outside, like garden and, yeah, I don't know. Maybe mow the yard or something. Anything that gets me outside and out of this house. But, we're homeschooling now. It's going to be through the summer, and I'm not really disappointed about that. It is what it is. I have no issue. I had thought maybe I would do year-round schooling. It just depends on how I feel about it. If I want to continue with it, but this year that's definitely going to happen, just because it already seems like we took our summer break, but it was a spring break, like a 2-month spring break, when I just didn't feel well enough to school them. But we finished with that curriculum. And for the summer, or for the next 6 or 7 or 8 weeks or whatever, we're not going to do as much schooling as we had done throughout the year. Let's see, my second grader, rising third grader, 8.5-year-old, whatever, just to give you an idea of where she's at, she finished with all of her other work besides her Right Start math, which I'll just show you and remind you what that looks like. So the only thing that I'm doing with her curriculum-wise, or formal schooling-wise, I don't know how to put this. I'll explain. She's doing math. She's finishing up her Right Start math, because we had not finished that. That's one thing we hadn't finished. She finished her handwriting book and her grammar, and I'm not getting new books along those lines, until closer to the fall. And then she'll have more work to do as far as that goes. But she's finishing up her Right Start math. There's 140 lessons in this book, and she's on 120. We finished 120 today. And she is just doing fantastic with this. Just to update you on that, I still love Right Start. I'm working on it with my kindergartner, rising first grader / 6-year-old. She's working on her Right Start math book. But I dropped math a lot with her throughout this past year because she kept hitting a wall when it came to a certain point, and she just couldn't grasp addition beyond a certain point. It was just too much for her. So we would just scale back. We'd go back at looking at numbers and simple counting. And now she's moving forward a little bit more. And that was fine for me because she was in kindergarten, and a whole bunch of math I don't feel is super important in kindergarten. Kindergarten, I wanted to be really fun for her. Lots and lots of playtime. Lots of good stories and books. And just working on letter sounds and beginning reading, and whatever pace she was ready to move forward with that, just kept that going at a steady pace. And speaking of that, I have started reworking with her in this book. And This is the reading lesson. Teach your child to read in 20 easy lessons. You can see it. I also have the 100 easy lessons book. The Teach Your Child to Read in 100 easy lessons. Which we sort of dropped and still haven't picked back up. But I'm willing to pick that up again. I mean, I just skip around with her. Whatever she's willing to do, and right now she's willing to do this, we do it. Some days she just wants to read a couple Bob books, which I think she mainly has memorized. And she's not actually reading. Well, she's reading, but she doesn't always recognize the same words in a different context or a different story. But that's okay. That's completely okay. So sometimes she just wants to read a couple Bob books. And sometimes we do progressive phonics online, which she loves that I read and then I pause and let her fill in the word that's highlighted for her to read. She really enjoys that. And then we've moved back to this because she didn't like this initially when we started it. But now we're restarting it. Or we've started again. And she's doing okay. She seems to enjoy this so far this week. So it's basically whatever works right now. Whatever can get her excited or wanting to try, she'll do. And she can read quite a large amount of, compared to even 2 months ago, quite a large amount of small 3-letter type words or 2-letter type words like at, sat, cat, mat, am, mom, dad, Tom. You get the picture. So that is coming along. She is starting to read, which I feel is developmentally appropriate for her, having just turned 6 in April. So those are the things that we're doing for the summer, is some math and finishing up on that for my 8-year-old, and reading lessons. And we're not really doing any grammar or formal handwriting. Well, I take that back. My 6-year-old is doing some handwriting because she has not finished her handwriting book, but she already finished one for this year. So this one I'm not pushing her to finish. She does a few lines every day, and it's whatever. It's just whatever. Whatever she is willing to do for me, I'll take it. Now, for our exciting homeschool plans for this summer, as I mentioned before, we did Build Your Library the kindergarten year, which was around the world, which we really loved. It's a really great literature-based homeschool curriculum, and Emily over at ARG Schooling is the one who created it. And I will link to her channel and her website for the curriculum if you're interested in it below. But we really enjoyed that, and I plan to move forward with 1st grade curriculum next year. But since I decided to go ahead and work this summer and do homeschooling instead of take a huge break, we're filling in this summer and just stretching it out with her prehistory unit, which is a 6-week reading or unit. It's a 6-week unit, but we're just going to stretch it and do it, and just, I kind of loosely follow what we're supposed to be doing, but we're behind and then ahead in some areas, so that's just all over the place. But we're doing that, and I'm just going to show you the books that we're using to do that. The first and one of the main ones is the Osborne internet-linked Encyclopedia of World History. And I really like this book. It is very, very detailed and very big and long. And I think that we will be using this for years to come. I know this is included, this is part of the curriculum in a main spine of the 1st grade curriculum. It's part of prehistory. I think it grows and goes into 2nd grade as well, and maybe 3rd. Don't quote me on that though. But you definitely use this for years, and so it's worth investing in this and buying it. Can't remember how much I paid for it. I don't think over $30. And my neighbor's mowing now, so if you hear that, in addition to all the birds and things outside, then that's what that is. And my window's open, and I'm not closing it. We don't have AC, so. But we use this, and I love it because it starts, let me just show you here, at the very beginning with a timeline, a prehistoric timeline. And if you know me, you know I love Planet of the Cave Bears series by Jean M. All. So just a prehistory unit, just, it excites something in me, and I'm excited to get into that with the kids, and especially move on from the dinosaurs into like the Ice Age and all the early mammals and mammoths and all that fun stuff, and giant sloths and cave people. I love all that. So this is a very nice, valuable book. Let me just show you again some of the pictures, because I didn't really show you that much. And we haven't gotten very far into it because we're making a timeline to go with it, which my 8-year-old is working on. My 6-year-old is not as interested in our prehistory unit, which is fine. She just kind of sits in for the things that she's interested in and walks away for the things that she's not. So it's mainly my 8-year-old that's making a timeline, and if you can see that, she made this morning. This is for the Ordovician period, and she said the first fish and the first land plants, and she drew plants and a fish, a first fish. And then she's also done a few other time periods, if you can see them. A giant sea scorpion and some first soft-bodied creatures in the pre-Cambrian period. She's really interested in it, and I'm learning too, so it's a win-win. And then along with that, she just has some vocabulary words that she does. If you can see here, she did fossils, evolution, Big Bang Theory, Pangea, and then on, and it just is several pages, and she does that. And then also what we're currently reading is Life Story by Virginia Lee Burton, and it says the story of life on our earth from its beginning up to now. And this is just kind of a neat book. I feel surprised by it and a little blown away because I just never imagined that a book like this existed for kids. But if you don't know, Virginia Lee Burton is the author of Mike Mulligan and His Steam Shovel and The Little House. And I just never expected a book like this to come from the same author. But it did. And it talks about the beginning and how the earth was made, you know, through early mammals, and then early people, and then on up to now. And it's very thick, so I don't think you could read it all in one day, but that would be a lot. So we're just working through that as well, and it goes along great, and we're getting started with those. That's as far as we've gotten to it today, up to today, because like I said, we just got back into schooling. But I will just show you really quickly the rest of the books that we have to use for the prehistory unit that we're doing this summer, except for 2. I am missing 2. There's 2 of them I haven't bought, and one of them is a book of archaeology for kids. I can't remember what it's called exactly, and The Secret of Lascaux Cave. I don't have those 2 yet, and those are going to be bought later on when we get closer to using them. But what I have bought, besides those 2 books I just showed you, is Maru of the Winter Caves by Anne Turnbull. And this is about I guess, here I am not knowing anymore what it's about, but a Eskimo girl, I think, and her brother, and just that time period of being way back in like hunter-gatherer stage. On the back here's what got me excited. On the back, it says Clan of the Cave Bear for young readers. So, needless to say, I am pretty thrilled with this and excited to get into it, and I hope that I enjoy it. And I think the kids will as well. So there's one. And then the art book that goes with this unit is prehistoric art. And I haven't really looked into it that much, but just, I guess it tells you sort of how the art was made and the methods, and there's a mound, an old earth mound type thing, and then, so yeah. We haven't really got into that yet. We haven't even got as far as an art project yet, other than we did make some impression fossils, was an activity that we did, and then we made an earth, a Rice Krispie earth with a core, and the mantle was the Rice Krispies, and then the chocolate shell on the outside was the crust. And the kids really enjoyed making that and then eating that and learning the parts of the earth, which they mostly remember after making a Rice Krispie earth. So, thumbs up to that activity. Another book that we're going to be reading is You Wouldn't Want to Be a Mammoth Hunter, by John Malam. And it says, dangerous beasts you'd rather not encounter. And this kind of seems just like a fun and cute book. Again, going to plug in here to Clan of the Cave Bear series. I think the third book in her series is The Mammoth Hunters. So again, this just ties all into it, and I can't wait to get to the people part of prehistory, because that just excites me, because I really look forward to handing my kids Clan of the Cave Bear many years from now when they can read it. So if I can get them interested before then, though, it'll be a win for me. And then the last book I have to show you is The Magic School Bus in the Time of the Dinosaurs by Johanna Cole and Bruce Deegan, or Deegan maybe. And it's just self-explanatory, a magic school bus book with dinosaurs. And then I know some other activities we'll be doing, or extra things to do, besides continuing to work on the timeline, is just to study individual animals and creatures from the different time periods in prehistory. And then also watch a lot of documentaries. And I'm kind of saving those for some rainy days and whatnot. And I'm sure there'll be more hands-on activities, but I can't remember off the top of my head right now. But it just seems like a really fun thing to do, and I'm sure we can stretch it out through the summer, because there's going to be plenty of days where no school is going to happen, and we're just going to be going to the pool, or going on a hike, or hanging out with friends and neighbors on these sunny days, and just finding other things to get into. Excuse me. But that's our summer plans. That's a homeschool update about what we're doing. Again, it's just, we're doing school in the summer, but it's going to be lighter. It's just lighter overall. And then I will share with you as we get closer and I start thinking about what supplies I want to gather in and stuff, what we're going to be doing for first grade. We're doing Build Your Library first grade, but I will share all our books and then extras and curriculum choices and stuff as it gets closer to that. But, so that's what we're doing this summer, and I hope this was valuable to watch for someone, or interesting, and like I said, I am so excited about doing prehistory with my kids, prehistoric stuff, dinosaurs and cave people, and that's just, it's exciting for me that something like this exists for me to do with my kids, because this makes it really fun and not boring for me, as I'm sure it does for them. So that's what we're doing. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I will see you guys again hopefully very soon. Hopefully. Don't hold me to it.